What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Boston's Banter, where the sports are wicked and the banter is Pissah. I'm your host, Frank the Bank. With me, as always, is Keith LaCava. What's going on, mighty bro young?
Nothing much, Spy Bro the Dragon.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Love it.
We had one last stat challenge for the time being. We will do more, probably in the playoffs for, well, if the Bruins make it, which we don't know, but
Right.
definitely when the Celtics make it.
Yep.
But your buddy won again.
Yeah, Chase, congrats,
Chase,
man.
yeah.
You got a good pick there with the Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah,
I think
that
he
was
like
sick.
2 yards off or something like that.
Yeah, he was real close. So that congrats again. In lieu of the stat challenge, we actually have a very, very special guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
My niece Kelsey Gropman is going to sing the national anthem. So Kelsey, come on over.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Say hi to everybody, and then you can start singing when you're ready.
Hello. Tonight I'm going to sing the national anthem for you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kelsey.
That was awesome.
Good job, Kelsey. Thank you very much,
That
Kelsey.
was really good, Kelsey.
So she's been singing a lot of the national anthems around, and she did one on the Wareham Vikings game, and she did one recently in Boston. So we wanted to have her on and as a special guest. So
Yeah,
thank
man.
you, guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's a fan favorite over
Yeah,
there, huh?
awesome. Yeah, she loves it. So why don't we jump into the Wicked Pissah news now?
Here we are after that great performance from Kelsey Gropman. We're going to get into the Bruins update here. So the Bruins are currently 27-24-6, Frankie, and they're sitting at 4th in the Atlantic currently right now.
Yeah, they jumped back up a little bit.
Yeah. So 1-2 since our last episode. So they beat the Wild last Tuesday in
I didn't think they
Boston,
would
3-0.
either.
I know.
I really didn't.
We were
But
talking about that.
That was a tough game. They beat them 3-0.
Followed by a 3-2 road loss versus the Rangers last Wednesday.
That was a gross loss.
Yes,
too.
it was.
Up 2-1 in the third. Gave up 2 goals, and that was it.
Yep.
Unreal.
Then lastly, a 4-3 loss versus the Golden Knights in Boston this past Saturday, man. I hate losing to them, too.
Golden Knights are nasty, but yeah, you got Bruce Cassidy come back to town,
Right,
and it was just gross. So their next game's not till February 22nd against the Ducks. The Ducks are terrible. Why there is such a big gap? There's no All-Star game this year. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there's no NHL All-Star game this year. They're doing a tournament, an international tournament. It's called the Four Nations Tournament. It's kind of like a preview for the 2026 Milan Winter Olympics next year. So it's going to be Finland, Sweden, Canada, and the USA playing in this tournament over the next week and a half, 2 weeks now. So that's why there is no game for so long. Do you know when the last time there wasn't an All-Star game?
I do not.
COVID 2021. It wasn't that long ago. I was trying to get you. It really wasn't that long ago. But COVID year 2021, they didn't have an All-Star game. But yeah, so that's why there's, it'll be fun to watch that. It'll be good to watch it. But yeah, at the end of the day, there is a long break. And again, no All-Star game. So
All right, move on to the Celtics update, Frankie. So currently the Celtics are 38-16, 3-1 since our last episode. Let's break it down real quick. They beat the number 1 seed Cavs.
We talked about that last week.
112-105 in Cleveland last Tuesday. I remember you brought that up, man, and we needed them to lose some games. What better than us beating them?
that was perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Followed by a 127-120 loss to the Mavs in Boston this past Thursday.
And that was without Anthony Davis even playing yet. So I thought that was gross.
Right, Kyrie, he hate losing to him, and especially
Speaking of
in
Anthony
Boston.
Davis, too, though, he already got injured.
He already got injured.
Played his first game, got injured, out a couple weeks.
Missing multiple weeks.
The GM is getting death threats for trading him. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so that is insane. So hate losing to them. Then a dominant 131-104 road win versus the Knicks this past Saturday. Love beating them.
Tatum went crazy, 40 points. Oh my gosh, he barely even played half the fourth quarter too.
And then lastly, last night, a 103-85 road win in Miami, the Jimmy Butler-less Heat. So we also had one piece of Celtics news other than the games, Frankie, and the Celtics have actually traded Jaden Springer and a few second-round picks in 2027 and 2030 to the Rockets for a protected 2031 second-round pick?
I mean,
what was the point
I'll be
of
like
that?
50 years old now.
What was the point of that?
Yeah, maybe they have something brewing for 2031.
Right. Who knows, bro? We've talked about that before, too. But it was weird because Springer then just got waived from the Rockets. And I'm not going to lie, the offensive numbers weren't the best, but defensively, especially these last 7 games, he was playing pretty good, man. He had 4 steals in one game, too.
He's not a bad player. I mean, defensively-wise, I mean, he's a great player.
So that was one minor trade, but Frankie, we had a bunch of notable trades, and the NBA trade deadline did not disappoint. So
this was like the biggest year, one of the biggest years, I feel like.
Unreal, brother. So we're going to break them down real quick for you guys. So the Clippers acquired Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Hawks.
Yep.
The Wizards acquired Chris Middleton from the Bucks and our boy Marcus Smart from the Grizzlies.
Yeah, that was a good trade for them.
They were loading up. They got 2 good players there.
Yep.
The Bucks acquired Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards in a 3-team deal. That was actually the Middleton trade.
Yep.
The Cavs acquired DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks. Man, I don't like seeing that because he's a good player. And
he is a good player. I'm surprised the Hawks traded him. He's still pretty young too. That's
what I was saying, bro.
He's a good player. That was a good trade for them.
Yep. So the Cavs are getting better there. The Raptors acquired Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans, and recently he just got a 3-year extension.
Ingram's nasty. I mean, that's a big trade for them too.
Big trade.
Kuzma's a good scorer too for the Bucks. That was a good trade for them.
That's what I'm saying.
I know they lost Middleton, but he's a little bit older, and Kuzma can score. That was not a bad trade.
Him going there with Dame and Giannis, man, that was pretty good.
That 3 aren't going to be bad at all.
And then we bring up a trade that did happen, but it actually got voided.
I saw that.
The Lakers acquired center Mark Williams from the Hornets, and they were trading rookie Dalton Connect.
I'm surprised they traded Connect too.
LeBron loves Connect. He said that other than Bronny, that was his favorite college player last year.
Yeah, his kid's nasty.
But like I said, the trade got voided due to there was a failure in Williams' physical.
They wanted the center after they moved on from AD. So
Right. And then lastly, the big one we've been talking about for the last few weeks, the Warriors acquired Jimmy Butler from the Heat. But not only that, also within that trade, Andrew Wiggins got dealt to the Heat.
Yeah, Wiggins. Yeah.
Yep. So it was about time, man. We saw Jimmy Butler get traded, and he actually, after that trade, he got a 2-year, $121 million extension.
I mean, you act like that, how he acted towards the Heat, and you reward him like that. Like, how is he going to say he's not going to do that to your team? Just get him out of here.
Oh, my God. So the Warriors' potential starting 5 now looks like Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, and either Quentin Post or Kevon Looney.
I mean, like I said, Jimmy Butler, I like Jimmy Butler as a player, but how he been acting even last year, I felt like, I don't know, it's just crazy to me.
So, Frankie, we had a little game this past weekend.
Yeah, tiny game. Small one.
Hit that applause button.
Yes, sir.
So, some NFL news, and of course, we're going to bring up Super Bowl 59.
The Eagles.
So, like I just said, Frankie, hit that applause button. The Eagles beat the Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59, and Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts was named MVP. Bring up what he did real quick. 17 for 22, 221 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 11 carries for 72 yards, which led the team. And he had a touchdown there as well. Pat Mahomes on the other side, 21 for 32, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 INTs. He also led his team in rushing, Frankie, but it was only with 25 yards.
They barely even ran the ball. They only had like 7 design runs for the entire game or something crazy.
I'm telling you right now, that tells you right there how that offense was looking. They were looking rough against the Eagles, bro.
They played so bad. They didn't cross midfield until after the half.
Right.
Like, it was their first 9 drives did not cross midfield.
Nope.
Insane.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, and I told people going into this game, the last 2 weeks and everything, I said that the Chiefs had not seen a defense like the Eagles, and they're going to get rattled.
Oh, yeah, we talked about the defense for months.
You know what I'm talking about,
The defense is stacked.
Number 1 in total defense. But, Frankie, actually, I had some interesting storylines from this game that I want to bring up real quick. One that we talked about last week. So, Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith became the 5th player in NFL history to win a Heisman, national championship, and a Super Bowl, and he did it in his hometown of New Orleans,
that was sick.
brother.
Yeah, no, he played good, too. He played real good.
Yep, 4 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
Then on the losing side, Travis Kelce, he actually set a record. He passed Jerry Rice for the most career Super Bowl receptions. Even though they lost, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
For a tight end, especially.
Oh, yeah, he's been there so many times.
Yeah, so Kelce entered the game with 31 receptions in the 4 previous Super Bowls he played in, and he needed 3 to pass Rice. He finished with 4 receptions for 39 yards, so he's now the all-time leader in Super Bowl career receptions. And then Saquon Barkley, man, he broke the regular and postseason rushing record previously held by running back Terrell Davis. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the single-season rushing record, but with a Super Bowl win, I'm sure he don't care about that.
Nothing
you know what I'm saying, bro? So Barkley finished the regular season in the playoffs with 2,504 rushing yards.
Wow.
Total. Barkley also broke Davis's regular season and playoff total scrimmage yards record with 2,832 total yards.
Unbelievable.
With 20 total touchdowns.
And that's he did not play the last game, so that extra game played does not come into play.
Good
so
point.
It's still, you know what I mean? He sat the last game.
That's
so
a really good
let's
point,
be real.
actually.
He broke the record legit without the extra game.
Without that extra game as well.
You know, which I like to say. I mean,
speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 47 yards rushing in the Super Bowl, but he had 40 yards receiving. He had 6 catches.
Right.
It's like probably the best he's had all year for catches.
Bro, I'm telling you right now. So speaking of Barkley, it was actually his 28th birthday as well.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the only
There was
one on
another
the team
birthday out there,
celebrating
too,
their
yep.
birthday in that game, and that was rookie cornerback Cooper
Cooper
DeJean
DeJean.
celebrating his 22nd birthday. And what a better way, man, to celebrate your birthday and having a pick 6 in the Super Bowl.
Sick. That was a sick
His
pick
first
six, too.
career interception, too. He didn't have one all season.
Yeah, kid's nasty.
And he played like a dog, too, bro. But real quick,
He's nasty.
Frankie, his Cooper DeJean's number is 33. Saquon Barkley's is 26. What's 33 plus 26?
Yeah, they added that up. I saw that.
59.
Yep.
Super Bowl, dude, that's crazy.
I
That's
saw that.
insane. And then Chiefs rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy broke the rookie Super Bowl record for receiving yards with 8 receptions, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Frankie, that was the quietest 8 catches for 157 yards and 2
All
touchdowns
in the second
Super
half,
Bowl.
except for like one
Right.
little one.
Garbage time. But so
was
you look at
all
those
garbage
numbers,
time.
man, it's like nobody's talking about it. He for a rookie, man, those are great numbers in the Super Bowl.
It was-
Nobody's
that was
talking
crazy.
about it.
I mean, Mahomes was under pressure the entire time.
Right.
With the craziest stat that I saw, he got sacked, he got, intercepted, he was under pressure the entire time. The Eagles defense did not blitz one time, not once. They only rushed their down lineman, that's it.
Yep.
And he was under pressure the entire time. They didn't have a single blitz.
Yeah,
That's
no.
insane.
So Frankie, congrats to the Eagles and everything. But
Yep.
so real quick, Eagles fans, minus destroying their town, they don't know how to spell it. Actually, I just want to show the clip of their mayor.
The mayor.
Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Come on, man. She's the mayor of Philly. You can't spell Eagles.
I love that. That was so funny. There's memes all over the place about that. So.
Yes, sir.
That's funny.
So, Frankie, the Super Bowl's over. Let's start the offseason, and we got some news for you. And starting with a guy who lost to the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl, and wide receiver Deebo Samuel has requested a trade from the 49ers, and the team actually granted him permission to find a trade partner.
Yeah, I mean,
So I looked at it this way, Frankie. With guys like Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk coming back, Deebo's looking for a bigger role, obviously, on a new team.
yep.
The 49ers also recently signed Brandon Ayuk, like we talked about, to a new deal.
Yep.
I think it was a 4-year, $120 million extension, $30 million a year, which is crazy.
Yep.
And also, Brock Purdy is due a big contract.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Purdy, too. I know.
Like,
it's
he's
crazy.
looking around the $55 to $60 million a year range. So
I
Deebo's
don't think
not
he's
only
going to get that either, though.
What
That's
up-
the thing.
Right. Well, they're talking about those rumblings within
I
that
know.
range.
He looked great like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then last year, when obviously McCaffrey was out, but
His whole team was out.
Yeah, but he looked not that good.
Well, I'll say this, though. Obviously, he's looking for a bigger role, but he's going to want more money, too.
Of course.
So that's why I think that, and the 49ers are willing to
They
trade him.
can't pay everybody. I
Right.
mean, they have too many talented guys.
Oh, of course. So let's move over to the Jets, Frankie. And they actually just recently informed Aaron Rodgers he will not return to the team next season. We all figured that,
Yeah,
right?
see ya.
And also, wide receiver Devontae Adams looks like he's not going to be back on the team next year. Primarily, he was there because of Aaron Rodgers. Let's be real.
Yeah, of course. Wherever Rodgers goes, Devontae will probably go.
So after 4 MVP awards, a Super Bowl title, man, I hate to say it, man, because I do like Aaron Rodgers. Looking like it's time to retire.
I mean, he might. I think he's going to play again, or at least try to come back.
So Rodgers threw for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions in his first full season with the Jets. And again, they need a new QB. So let's move over to a head coaching hire, and the last one that was in the league. So the Saints hire Eagles OC Kellen Moore as their new
I
head
like that.
coach, Frankie.
I like that.
Making him now the NFL's youngest head coach at 36 years old. He's only 3 years older than me. Under Moore, the Eagles offense was 8th in total offense, 2nd in rushing offense, but surprisingly, Frankie, they were 29th in pass offense.
Yeah, but if you add up how many Jalen Hurts rushing
right,
touchdowns,
of course.
it's like that's the difference, right
But I was
there.
still surprised 29th.
No,
though.
it's low, but again, they are the way Jalen Hurts and Saquon go.
Oh, absolutely. It's
crazy.
Still, 29 to me, that seems very low for them.
Yeah.
And then the Saints had the 21st ranked total offense, 14th rushing offense. So a guy like him coming in to be your head coach, that could probably help out Alvin Kamara's production.
Yeah.
And then I heard actually after the Super Bowl, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni was trying to say he wants to run it back with him, but you know Kellen Moore wants to be a head
Yeah,
coach. bro.
he's the way he's been a good OC for years.
right,
So
right. So I don't
he
blame
deserves
him.
it.
I don't blame him, Frankie.
That's all we got for Wicked Pissah News. Jumping into the lava round, guys.
Here we are, Frankie. Lava round. Like we talked about for one of our last predictions, we were talking about the NFL award winners.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's get into that, brother.
Let's see.
So let's start off here by looking at our boy Snoop Dogg. He was the host. We see him dancing there. So Frankie, we'll start with this first one. Let's start with the Coach of the Year. And drum roll, please. The award went to Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell.
You called it. You said
I did call that
was
one,
a good call.
You got a lot right. We'll get into that in a little bit, though. So we led the Vikings, like I said in the last show, to a 14-3 season, second best regular season in the team's 64-year history.
Yeah, he coached really good.
Oh, dude, it was unreal, man, how good they were, especially losing their first-round quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. And they were sixth best passing offense in the NFL. And like I said, man, that speaks volumes because they had Sam Darnold as quarterback.
Sammy Darnold.
So congrats to him. Next, we have Offensive Rookie of the Year. And the award goes to Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels. We all expected that one.
Easy peasy.
Of course. How could it not after his historic season, bro?
He played great.
3,568 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, most passing touchdowns by a rookie, but that's not all. 891 rush yards and an additional 6 rushing touchdowns. That's most rushing yards by a rookie quarterback. Most total touchdowns by a rookie with 31.
Yep.
Most total yards by a rookie with 4,459, and he led Washington to their first conference championship in 33 years.
He killed it. He deserved that.
That was our fantasy quarterback, brother.
Of course.
So let's move over from the Offensive Rookie of the Year to the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Frankie, you got this one right with Rams linebacker Jared Verse.
I told you.
36 solo tackles, 66 total, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and the guy also had a 57-yard fumble recovery touchdown in the wild card game versus the Vikings.
Yeah, no, he played good. It was he was just wicked active. He got a lot of pressures. I know he didn't get as many sacks as some of the other guys, but I just felt like he was so disruptive that's why I picked him to win it.
Well, I also like that he was antagonizing Philly fans, too.
Oh, yeah, it's great. So, no, Verse deserved it. He tore it up.
They got that other rookie, Braden Fisk, who I thought, man. So they had a good draft class, man, with the
They're going to be
defenders.
good next year, for
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. But Verse, like you said, man, he's a dog.
Yeah, he is.
So let's move over to the Comeback Player of the Year, Frankie. And like we all figured, the winner is Joe Burrow.
Easy.
After getting hurt with a wrist injury midway through the 2023 season and missing the rest of the year, I had him in fantasy that year, of course, always bring it up. Burrow fully bounced back immensely with 4,918 pass yards, led the NFL, 43 touchdowns, which also led the NFL.
Led the NFL.
And if it weren't for the Bengals missing the playoffs, Frankie, I truly think he could have been MVP.
He could have been.
Now let's move over to the Offensive Player of the Year. And Frankie, this was a no-brainer. We both knew this one.
Come on.
Running back, Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Barkley had one of the best seasons I've ever seen for a running back in NFL history,
He went
bro.
nuts. He's going number one overall in fantasy.
That's
it's
what I'm
a wrap
saying. He's back there being number one in fantasy.
For
If I got
sure.
that
With
number one
offensive
pick, I'm
line,
taking him, man.
You'll be running through that offensive line like him.
Right? So 2005 rushing yards, was a little short of the single-season rushing record. 15 total touchdowns. The dude is now a Super Bowl champ. And no matter how much I despise the Giants, I always love Barkley, so I was happy for him.
He had 10 touchdowns in the playoffs.
That's what
10.
I'm saying, bro.
I think he tied the record. I think it might have been TDs, but I think he tied the rushing touchdown record for the playoffs. He had 10 touchdowns in the playoffs.
Yeah, dude. So I'm glad Barkley got that award. I honestly thought he could have won MVP as well.
Yeah, he was up there in the votes for sure.
Yes, he was. Third. He was actually third in MVP votes.
Yep.
So switch sides to the Defensive Player of the Year, Frankie. And you got this one right, too,
I
brother.
got all but the coach
Yeah,
right
you know
so
what
far.
I mean? I know,
I
bro.
picked all of them,
Pretty
except
good,
for the
man.
coach.
Cornerback, Pat Surtain II, Frankie.
Yeah, that's who I picked.
So he finished the season with 45 tackles, 4 INTs, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and he had a 100-yard pick six.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah,
he was
man.
just like one of those guys. He's just a shutdown corner.
According to Next Gen Stats, Surtain was targeted on only 10.9% of his coverage snaps this season.
That's crazy.
Lowest rate among 83 cornerbacks with 300 or more coverage snaps.
Yep.
And not only that, Surtain also didn't allow more than 50 receiving yards in a single game this season.
Kid's nasty.
Yes, he is. A good call on that one, brother.
Thank you.
And then lastly, the NFL MVP award.
We both got this wrong.
We were both wrong on this one.
And then there's only the second one I got wrong.
And it went to Bills quarterback Josh Allen. And Frankie's right. It could have went to any of those guys, but it went to Josh Allen. I think he had a great year, and it's well deserved.
Listen, the kid's nasty. The reason I think he got it is because they He didn't play the last game.
Right.
And he did it with less than Lamar. I think Lamar should have still got it, honestly.
I agree. With those numbers, that ratio, the turnover
He's won it
ratio.
twice, right? This year, his numbers were better than both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
And he had well more touchdowns than Allen this year, too.
Makes
So
no
and he had like
sense.
400 more yards passing.
With Josh Allen stats, too, which I'll bring it up here, 3,731 pass yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 531 rush yards, and an additional 12 rushing touchdowns.
Lamar had more rushing yards, more passing yards.
I agree.
More total touchdowns. So again, how does Josh Allen get that? I know Derrick Henry ran like the wild man, and I get that, but you can't forget about James Cook led the league in rushing touchdowns. It's not like James Cook is some slouch.
And,
you know what I mean? So again, I don't get that.
And the Bills were the only team to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, no. Again, it's
in the regular season.
I know.
Should say.
Well, I mean, again, I think if Lamar beats Josh Allen in the playoffs and vice versa, maybe.
It's a different story.
It's a different story. I wish the awards were announced prior to the playoffs because I feel like the playoffs get in people's minds on how people are playing a little bit, and the voters, I don't know. I just don't like how it's done.
So, Frankie, the NFL award show was pretty good. Snoop was a great host.
Oh,
he
was
killed
hilarious.
Especially when
With
he
the
said
Belichick.
this.
Oh, that was the best.
Check this
Hit
out.
it.
Because I've been a football fan for a long, long time. I mean, I remember back when the Cowboys was good. I remember back when the Chiefs was bad. And I remember, what was it? Bill Belichick's girlfriend wasn't even born yet. Is anybody ready to have a good time tonight?
So, dude,
that was so
you saw
funny.
his girlfriend's face. She even was thinking, like, damn, I'm getting called out like
That
this.
was pretty funny,
You even saw
man.
the reactions of Max Crosby,
Oh, it was
Michael
great.
Parsons,
Everyone
man.
was dying.
They were all
He
like,
killed it. Snoop killed it.
Yeah, that was great. Frankie, so the live around these next few weeks, we got free agency coming up at the beginning of March. So I figure these next few weeks and everything, we break down the early free agency predictions for like the top 5, 6 free agency positions. And this week, I say we do quarterbacks.
Do it. Let's go. What do we got?
All right, Frankie. So number 1, we're going to start with quarterback Sam Darnold. Where do you think he's going to be going this offseason?
I mean, I think he wants a big contract. I don't think he's going to get it. He's had 1 year that he proved that he could be good.
Right.
And then he choked, obviously, in the playoffs. But I don't know. I think he'll probably stay with Minnesota. I mean, J.J. McCarthy has come out and said, I want a fair shot at trying to win the starting job.
Right.
So who the heck is he talking about? He's got to be talking about Sam Darnold, correct? I
Right.
mean, who else is there? They don't have anybody else, technically. But... yeah, I'm thinking Sam's going to stay in Minnesota.
Yeah,
what do you
so
got?
I could see that, but also I could see him signing with the Tennessee Titans.
Titans, yeah, that'd be a good spot.
I've seen a lot of the mock drafts. Looks like the Titans may be taking Travis Hunter, actually, number 1 I've been seeing, which I thought they would have taken a quarterback.
I'm thinking that they're going QB. I don't know why you go, but Hunter's nasty.
Well, they said something about them taking a generational talent. He
Yeah,
looks
he
like
is.
one.
He is.
But let me break this down real quick. So the Titans are towards middle of the league in the cap space. Darnold's looking for north of $40 million a year. Mind you, they got weapons on that offense. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Tyler Boyd. You don't really got to spend a lot of money on the offense. Why don't you dish it out to get yourself a quarterback other than Will Levis or Mason Rudolph?
Yeah, but again, you're gonna dish it out to a guy that was basically Will Levis. It's just a higher draft
I'm
pick.
not saying pay him that much.
He looked like a bust. He was drafted, to what, 2018, same year as Josh Allen.
Yep.
And the guy's done nothing until this year. Again, Sam Darnold wasn't a first, second. I think he was 3rd or 4th overall, or 3rd guy taken. He's not one of those guys that's just like, he's never really proven it. He's been in the league 7 years.
Right.
He's had 1 good year.
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, because he's the number 1 free agency quarterback this offseason.
I know. It's crazy. Like, to me, I'm not risking a franchise in my job on Sam Darnold. I'm just not doing it. But 40 mil?
I know, and I don't think he's going to get that, but like I said, I could just see him going to the Titans. It's one of those things. I could just see him going there.
Yeah.
All right, so Frankie, number 2, we got quarterback Russell Wilson. Where do you think he's going to be going?
I mean, there's a couple spots. I don't think he's staying in Pittsburgh.
No,
First of all, he doesn't like
I
Arthur
don't think
Smith.
so.
And they're just he seems to be getting this a lot with the coaches. Like I could see him going to San Fran. Honestly,
A veteran quarterback
doesn't
behind
want
Brock Purdy.
Or if they don't, Purdy's what 1 more year under his.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's there
a free
next year
agent
as a
next year.
right.
But they need to extend Purdy or go out and get somebody and not extend. Purdy wants, you were talking 50, 60 million.
Win NFC Championship
which
appearances,
I
won a
love
Super
it.
Bowl.
I think he should get paid.
Right.
But after last year, they might be like, oh, now we don't want to pay you. Let's see what we do with Russell Wilson or somebody but me.
So I could see Russell Wilson going to the Raiders simply for the fact that obviously his former head coach he was under for 10 years in the league. Pete Carroll is the new head coach.
Won
And
a
not only
Super
that,
Bowl.
their new OC, Chip Kelly, he loves working with mobile quarterbacks, from his time with Philly with Mike Vick and even in San Fran with Colin Kaepernick. And the Raiders have the second most cap space.
I mean, Las Vegas.
Behind the Patriots in cap, so they got the money there. Russell's looking at 40 to 50 million, so I think the Raiders could dish that out. And mind you, the familiarity, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. I just think it's a match made in heaven.
That could be, yeah. I mean, Vegas, they need somebody. So.
Right. Yeah, better than Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, or Gardner Minshew.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So number 3, that other quarterback in Pittsburgh, Justin Fields, Frankie.
Yeah.
Where could you see him going?
I like Fields. I know
I
he's
do too.
more of a project.
Had started a few games in your league.
I like Fields. He won a few games for them, and then they switched to Wilson. Arthur Smith likes to run the ball. He fits in the scheme well in Pittsburgh. I think he will be back in Pittsburgh. But, again, he's a guy that Chip Kelly knows him well from college as well.
Yep.
I mean, you could see him technically going to Vegas too. But I do think he'll stay in Pittsburgh. I really do.
So I agree with you there, Frank. I think he's going to stay with the Steelers. He started the season for the Steelers because Russell Wilson was banged up. Looked pretty promising, like you were just saying. His first 6 games, 1,106 pass yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But not only that, he had 289 rush yards and another 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
So 10 total touchdowns to 1 turnover in your first 6 games?
Listen, the kid,
How didn't he just start the whole year?
I know.
And mind you, Steelers finished the year with the 27th ranked offense.
They
I think that would have been higher.
They made the
with
playoffs,
Fields.
but they lost the last 4 weeks or 3 weeks of the season. Russell played like Dookie.
Yeah, he did.
So like Justin Fields should have came in anyway.
Right.
He started the season off hot.
That's what I'm saying.
But he showed signs of life with Chicago.
A little bit.
And the beginning of this year, like you just talked about, was probably his best stretch.
I had to start him a few. I
Do you
remember
know
you
what I'm
even
saying?
said, you're starting Fields this week up to like 33 points.
Yeah,
one week,
he went
dude.
crazy. So, I mean, he had a couple games like that for Chicago when he ran and actually, did what he was supposed to.
Yeah, but then they didn't get him weapons like they did for Caleb Williams.
I'm saying the weapons in Pittsburgh are a lot better than he had in Chicago.
So Fields is only 25, too, man. So the age factor there. It's like, why don't you take the younger quarterback with more upside than the older quarterback who, mind you,
Right, the older quarterback's going to ask for more money,
That's
most
what I'm
likely.
saying.
Fields is, I mean, to me, he's a good project to try.
I'm telling you right now, I like that, Frank. I think he's staying in Pittsburgh.
Any of the teams that we're talking about that need a quarterback, they'd be silly not to take a look at Fields just to have him.
Absolutely.
Because he's cheap money.
So number 4, we got Jameis Winston, Frankie. And where do you think he's going?
I love Jameis Winston. I love his attitude. He's so
dude.
funny. You see him on all the things.
quotes and everything.
Oh, my gosh. He asked Saquon Barkley, where should I sign next year at the Super Bowl press conference? And Barkley said, New York.
The Giants.
They need a quarterback. It's kind of funny they said that. But honestly, I think he could end up in New York.
Right.
I don't think that would be good for his career per se. But they got Malik Neighbors. They got a couple pieces there.
Right.
He wants to start, he said. He came out and said he wants to
Absolutely.
start. He may not start. To me, I could see him, the Giants. I could see him back at the Browns, or I can see him going back to the Saints, honestly.
So I could see Jameis staying with Cleveland. I'm going to tell you why real quick. So the Browns just lost their starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, for the year. He wants to start. There you go. There's an opportunity. The guy
He already knows the playbook.
That's
He
what I'm
played
saying.
well.
Mind you, in the games he played, he beat the Ravens and the Steelers in 2 games, bro. So
if it wasn't
that
for
right
those
there,
picks late in the season,
Yeah,
like he started off good when he came in.
like you just said it too, 7 starts, 2,121 yards, 13 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions.
He just keeps throwing interceptions. It's just crazy.
So another thing too to notice is the Browns, they have the second least amount of cap at this upcoming offseason, bro. So look at it that way now.
Yeah.
You got Jameis, you get him on a 1-year deal, kind of come and improve it with Deshaun being
That's
hurt.
one of the 3 teams I got for him for sure. I think the Browns make sense for him, especially if they say he's going to start. Why not? I mean, and again, like you said, you get him on a 1 year and hope the following year you can get some draft capital and do something different.
And then number 5, we got 55-year-old Joe Flacco. And I'm going to tell you right now, Frankie, I'll just bring it up where I think he's going to go.
You
And
go
I
ahead.
think he could go to the Patriots.
I mean, he could come in as a backup there. I think he could definitely come in as that. I say he could be on the Browns too.
Right, he was already there.
I was
He led them
thinking
into
the
the
Browns
playoffs 1 year.
because again, what we talked about, Deshaun Watson out for the year already, pretty much. I mean, he might maybe back towards the end, probably
And
not.
he played for them too.
Yeah,
They brought
or
him
he'll
into
stay with the
playoffs.
Colts, in my opinion. I mean, the Colts.
Well, Anthony Richardson being there, but yeah,
Anthony
he was
Richardson
backup.
as a backup. I mean, Richardson is unproven. I think either of those Browns or the Colts for Flacco makes a lot of sense.
The reason I think Patriots is obviously the money's not an issue. The Patriots got the most cap going into this offseason, so you get Flacco for a 1-year veterans minimum.
Yeah.
Brissett's a free agent. He's likely to sign elsewhere. And why not have a vet who's been successful in the league, won a Super Bowl, be behind Drake May? Obviously, Drake May's a starter, but be a mentor to Drake May.
I wouldn't mind seeing him here at all.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, with the backups that we even had for Mac Jones and those guys, nobody was really a mentor. We should have kept Cam Newton to mentor Mac Jones. Maybe it would have been a little better instead of Brian Hoyer. So I'm going to tell you right now, I think that would be a good destination for Joe Flacco if he continues playing, which I'm hearing he wants to. Come be a mentor, a bridge quarterback for our boy Drake May.
I love it.
And then lastly, Frankie, we're going to just do a random quarterback from the list. I saw Mac Jones was a free agent, man. I just want to bring this up. I think he's going to sign with the Jets this offseason.
I mean, he could. I mean, the Jets could just get him just to try to learn a few things about the Pats. But I mean,
Right.
it's different coaching staff now and stuff.
Right.
So
Of course.
I don't know. Mac he's going to be a career backup. So to me,
But I could see
I
him
could
going
see
to the
him
Jets
that.
where they need a quarterback. Obviously, the Jets are 20th in terms of cap space. You could get him cheap. Just one of those things I could see happening, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you. When I'm playing my Madden franchises, every time I see the Jets in the offseason, they end up with Mac Jones.
I mean, they just said they didn't bring in Aaron Rodgers back. So I mean, any of these guys on this list that are free agents, they may try to scoop up.
That's what I'm
Sam
saying,
Donald
but-
played there for a minute too.
20th in terms of the cap. They don't got a lot of money to spend.
No, I mean, if it's me, I'm trying to get Justin Fields for as cheap as possible.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But who's your random quarterback?
I mean, you brought him up. Actually, you said it, Jacoby Brissett. He was the guy I was going to talk
Okay,
about. So,
okay.
I mean, to me, Jacoby, I hope he comes back to the Pats. But I mean, like you said, he probably wouldn't. I don't know. He just
I don't
the
think
way.
he's gonna.
Yeah,
Got benched and everything.
I don't know. It's just he's getting to the end of his career. I mean, you could see him going to like a Miami or somebody like that
Right.
in conference.
Right.
Same sort of reasons. You know what I mean?
I hear you, bro.
So yeah, it's been a great show and. Oh my gosh!
Harrison
Yeah.
Ford,
Yeah.
Wow, what's going on? Let's
Take a look.
Yeah, let's check it out. Whoa, dude! the
Yep.
Red Hulk.
He's red.
Red. You feel that,
Yeah, I
brother?
do.
Dude, I think he's coming this way. Frankie, what is this?
We better do something about this. But this is the new movie, Captain America: Brave New World. Looks sick. It's gonna be a good one.
All right, Frankie. So clearly we got to do something about this. So let's get out
Let's
of here.
go. From Title Town to your town, stay wicked, Pissah.
Whoa, all right, Frankie. I see you're ready, Mr. Hulk over here. But from Foxborough to your bro, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Ah!